There is no way I can handle this many patients. I need guidance on how to escape this productivity trap because I am completely overwhelmed.
Hello. If you are an experienced occupational therapist, you know the feeling. The sheer overwhelming reality is that the humanistic, holistic ethos of OT is in increasing collision with a business model driven by financial metrics and administrative compliance. You are not inadequate. The system is flawed. Our research confirms that burnout is not an individual failing of resilience, but a systemic failure of the OT's traditional work environments. It's a crisis defined by emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced professional efficacy. You are caught in a vice. The pace, the productivity demand is the ultimate metric. Your typical standard is 80% or even 90% in settings like skilled nursing facilities. To meet that 90% goal, you are mathematically left with only 48 minutes in an 8-hour day to complete every chart review, interdisciplinary consult, and discharge summary. The documentation is essential to get paid. This burden forces practitioners to delay documentation until the end of the day, effectively donating hours of unpaid labor to their employer. That's ridiculous and soul-stifling. This overwhelming pace creates moral distress. You are pressured to shift your focus from the quality of intervention to the quantity of minutes. As one study found, 89% of SNF practitioners agree that high productivity requirements negatively impact patient quality of care. They were being forced to operate against their core professional values. It doesn't have to be this way. What if there was a practice model that paid you for your expertise, not your minutes? We are talking about Work Oriented Neuro Rehabilitation, or WON, specifically as a hybrid consultative practice. This would begin as a 1-day per week deliberate shift away from the corporate billable unit model and toward a professional model where your comprehensive, holistic expertise is fully valued. WON addresses a high-stakes, high-impact area, the forensic adjudication of benefits for adults in the workforce who have sustained injuries or illnesses that limit their ability to work. The financial stakes in this work are substantial for all stakeholders: the client, the employer, workers' comp and long-term disability insurance carriers, and the Social Security Disability Indemnity SSDI program. These are complex, high-consequence scenarios that demand high-level, specialized occupational expertise. The WON hybrid model allows you to gradually develop your knowledge, skills, and abilities as you leverage the sophisticated clinical reasoning you already possess, your deep understanding of occupation, activity analysis, and environment, and apply it to legal, financial, and vocational domains. Crucially, this practice model offers an alternative reimbursement structure. Instead of being tethered to rules that systematically devalue non-billable time, such as documentation and collaboration, WON uses professional hour reimbursement for consultation. This guarantees your control over blocks of hours, offering flexibility regarding the duration and cost of the consultation. Your time spent writing the comprehensive evaluation, synthesizing data, and preparing forensic reports, the essential cognitive and administrative work, is finally compensated. This is the fundamental difference between the caseload model, which ignores non-billable work, and the expert workload model applied to consultation. Give that some thought. How would this affect your quality of life?
This approach lets us tailor your recovery plan hour by hour, avoiding the usual traps so you can focus on getting back to work.
For experienced practitioners and educators, this is the blueprint for career sustainability and fulfillment. The protective factors against burnout are clear: autonomy, satisfaction with income, and the ability to engage in meaningful work. The WN consultative model provides all three, allowing you to focus on the ethical, evidence-based practice you were trained for, free from the pressure to falsify documentation or provide inappropriate care just to meet impossible metrics. Educators, this is the expertise you need to model. We must train students not just in clinical competencies, but in the business of OT and advocating for models that value the full scope of our students' professional work. Occupational therapy is a profession built on optimizing occupation and quality of life. It's time we apply that wisdom to our own professional lives. Experienced therapists, stop working off the clock. Stop tolerating the ethical squeeze. Your clinical expertise is a highly valuable, fungible asset in the forensic and benefits adjudication space. We invite you to develop the expertise required to shift to the work-oriented neuro rehabilitation consultative model, a pathway to a sustainable, meaningful, and adequately compensated practice.